Hello, friends. In case you're confused by Trump's hot, cold style of warfare, it follows directly from the collapse of the Soviet Union. The entire Western military-industrial complex has spent decades shocking and awing its scapegoats, e.g. Afghanistan 2001, Iraq 2003, Libya and Syria 2011. But if a targeted nation can withstand the initial air assaults, time will be on its side. Unlike Russia and Ukraine, the West lacks resources for a prolonged military campaign. But success? All U.S. invasions since 1991 have been disasters. CIA motto: if it doesn't work, just double down. Hello, Iran. All the shock and awe, i.e. all the king's horses and all the king's men, can't put the Strait of Hormuz together again. Time for the puppets to start changing puppet masters. The Gulfies must abandon U.S. shock and awe, so-called protection. Negotiate with Iran to open the strait. All Iran asks is that you don't support U.S.-Israel's war against Iran. End of problem. End of shock and awe blitzkrieg. Heil Trump. Pakistan is trying its own shock and awe with poor, literally, Afghanistan. While US bombs girls' schools and Israel bombs hospitals, Pakistan chose hospitals. And all over the Durand line, splitting Afghans' Pashtuns in two. Let's not forget Trump's bombing of Nigerian Muslims to magically disappear terrorists there. After Trump's latest bombings there, violence in the northern states of the country surged, with communities reporting high fatalities and mass abductions, all just colonial collateral damage. Meanwhile, China has declared Africa its own tariff-free zone, where it has displaced the EU and as number one. The US doesn't even register. Ain't nobody gonna cut off China's oil from Iran. After Venezuela, no pasaran. The Iran war marks China's debut on the world stage as superpower number one. And Chinese missiles are being tested at this very moment over US ships and Israel. We are told Iranian women are oppressed because of Islam. There are more women engineers, doctors, but no porn artists. Meanwhile, Iran is standing alone against both little and big Satans. Trump received a mystery present tied to oil, gas, in the Strait of Hormuz. He later revealed it was Pakistani oil tankers, and claimed Iran has agreed it will never develop a nuclear weapon, though Iran committed to that 20 years ago. Iranian state media identified the mysterious present as a ground-to-ground missile strike on the US base at Erbil Airport. How about a competition for solving the mystery gift? Mine, Iran's stranglehold on Hormuz. They let non-US Israeli supporters through for a $2 million fee in yuan. Iran's version of the collective West financial stranglehold on Iran, Russia, and the 21 countries the US strangles every day. Estimates killing millions over the last decade. Emily Gregory, a first-time candidate and business owner, defeated Trump-endorsed Republican John Maples in a special election covering Trump's very own Mar-a-Lago, flipping a seat Trump carried by roughly 11% in 2024. It's the 10th GOP-held state legislative seat Democrats have flipped since Trump's return to office, while the Republicans have not flipped any. Palestine actions targeting of Elbit drones in the UK has inspired copycat arsons, the latest in Czechia. Lavrov in Russia has given up on Trump's Alaska promise of peace and cooperation. His USSR t-shirt at Anchorage is worth 1,000 words. You don't know how lucky you are, boy, back in the USSR. With Gulf War III, Trump 2 is taking us back to a world where nothing exists. No international law, no Versailles, no Yalta, nothing. A Russian advisor to Putin summed it up. The weak get beaten, that sums it up. We must be strong. Laura of Normal Island News, alerts us to the 80-year curse on the present-day Jewish empire. The two previous Jewish empires, the mythical Davids and the 2nd century BC Hasmonean, began to disintegrate about their 80th year of existence, and the current Zionist settler colony just happens to be 78 years old. Israeli ex-MP and Epstein intimate Ehud Barak predicted the collapse of Israel back in 2022, long before October 7th, explaining that all empires face a 80-year challenge. The US, its civil war in its 80s, Italy and Germany became fascist dictatorships in their 8th decade. The Soviet Union also disintegrated in the 8th decade of communist revolution. Beware the Ides of March. Finally, I urge you to subscribe to Professor Jiang's YouTube lectures on many issues from philosophy and history, but especially his analysis of the US-Israel-Iran war. Back in 2023, he predicted Trump would win in 2024, would start a war with Iran, and would lose. He quotes Julian Assange about America. The point is not to have successful wars. The point is not to win wars. The point is to have never-ending wars, which allows the military-industrial complex to transfer American taxpayers' money to a transnational elite. He argues that the war is not about Iran. I repeat, the Iran war is not about Iran, but about Israel's destruction of the US to further its own regional world hegemony, the end of Pax America, and the attempt by Israel to impose a Pax Judaica. Thanks.